Jim Rohn taught me many, many years ago that in order to have more, I must become more. In order to become more, I must work harder on myself than I do on my job. And what I've discovered through just that one simple quote, is that working harder on myself is working harder on my habits. What are my habits? What do I show up for and what do I show up to do on a daily basis? And if I focus on those habits and get better at them, eliminate the ones that aren't good for me, and obviously then increase and then dive in deeper into the ones that are, at the end of the day, I'm going to get the results that I'm looking for. And today, I've got a 3-step process of how I've personally and how you can take these habits and eliminate the bad ones, add and stack more of the good ones that's going to bring you this dream life that you are really, really looking for. It's exactly what I've used in my life, and I know it's going to help you as well. So, if you're ready to finally break free from your bad habits and start diving into a bigger, better life, just like Jim Rohn promised me many, many years ago, this episode's for you. Let's dive in.
Welcome to the Rich Mind Podcast.
All right, welcome back. So, as I mentioned, Jim Rohn was a huge influence on me. And hopefully you are consuming and finding content from Jim. You can find it all over the place. YouTube, you can find his audio programs. Challenge to Succeed is the one that I learned the most from Jim on. Definitely highly recommend you go get those programs. You can also obviously follow me here on the Rich Mind Podcast. I try to share as much of that wisdom, how I've implemented these things into my life and how I've seen the results. And that's exactly what I want to leave with you here on this episode here today. So let's get into and start discussing habits. One thing I've discovered over my life is through different phases of my life, I've had good habits and I've had some bad habits. I used to smoke and chew tobacco and things like that when I was a lot younger. I used to drink a lot of soda and pop, consume a lot of sugar, things that from a health standpoint tasted good, felt good in the moment, but maybe not necessarily the best things to do with my life as far as from a health standpoint. One habit that I talk about a lot here on the podcast is I talk about the habit of journaling. Jim is the one who encouraged me to do these things back in the day when I was first hearing him talking about his journals and things that he was doing. So I pushed back on that idea for that habit for a very long time, and I wish I would not have as long as I did. And I will tell you that doing that habit, that one habit, as simple as it might sound, has completely changed the trajectory of my life. It'll definitely help my family moving forward because they're going to have a record of the things that were going on in my life from the past. Just think about it. If you had a record of a family member or something like that, that you could refer back to, you would learn so many different things. And that's why I'm so excited for that for myself, to share it, just kind of pass it forward. Share the things that I've learned, share the things that have worked, things that haven't worked. But anyways, the habit of journaling is a great example for myself of something that you can do, uh, that doesn't take a lot of time, but can definitely make a big impact. So let's start diving into those 3 systems that I mentioned here at the beginning of this episode. I won't make this one a very long episode. I appreciate you joining me here today. And I just want this to be super powerful, super impactful. I really want you to think about this today as you're going through your day and implement it as much as you possibly can, because I'm confident that it'll move the needle so far, so fast if you can do these things. So the first step in this process, you need to have a 0-day mindset. Now you might be thinking, okay, what does that mean? And what I mean by that, but the 0-day mindset is that when you set a goal or when you're trying to break into a new habit, you're going to be pushing yourself outside your comfort zone. You're going to be doing things that you're not necessarily comfortable with. And what I'm challenging you to do with that idea here today is that no matter what, when you commit to doing something, whether it's journaling, whether it's doing more exercises, whether it's consuming more content that's going to pour good things into your mind. So let me give you an example of a 0-day mindset. So we'll just go back to my journaling example. I try not to miss a day with my journal. Now, I'm not going to tell you I do it 365 days out of the year, but I definitely probably do it at least 320, definitely a lot. I don't miss very many days. But the point is that I try not to ever miss. And with that said, even if I just write down a few sentences, I don't need to get a full entry. That is a 0-day mindset. I don't leave the day, or I don't leave a commitment that I've made to myself at a 0. I definitely want to move forward. Let's say you're trying to consume more water and that your goal is a gallon. And I'm just using it as a just a reference point. It doesn't have to be a gallon, but let's just say you're trying to consume much more water in your daily life. Now, if you set that goal and you don't quite reach it, but you've made the steps towards it, you're going to have a better chance of setting up and creating a bigger and better habit for yourself by just having this 0-day mindset. And I definitely encourage you to think of life in that way. Don't go through a day without trying to build upon these positive habits in your life. Okay, the second step of this process, I want you to do an environment audit. Think about your environment. Is there anything that is within your environment that is distracting? It can be your phone. It can be different people. If you're at work, I understand you might have obligations to do things in a certain way at your place of employment, but maybe you could break away for your normal breaks or even maybe for some lunchtime and implement some of these strategies as far as implementing a better habit for yourself. One thing I've encouraged even my own family members, my son, for example, he has a sit down job, or at least he doesn't move around a lot. I've encouraged him that when he has a break time or when he has an opportunity, just get up, take a walk outside, get around the building. If you can start making that a habit, just those few steps, just that simple process can start building a bigger, better habit as far as for his health. And so he can even start feeling better throughout the day. If going back to this journaling idea, if journaling is your habit of choice at this point, just find some time throughout the day. It can be a break time at work. It could be as soon as you wake up in the morning. It could be right before you go to bed. The time frame and the part about even the journaling process, there is not one set structure. It's whatever fits into your lifestyle. But the point is, you want to build it into your lifestyle through these positive habits. And that's what I wanted to encourage you here today. So if your phone's a distraction, so if the people in your environment is a distraction, so let's say you want to get to the gym or you want to exercise more. Are you setting your things out, or are you setting yourself up to succeed versus setting yourself up to fail? Are there some things that you could put in place, have some things set out? Get your shoes ready. Make sure your water and your whatever you're going to consume. If you need to get something a little nutrition before you go out and exercise, whatever those things are to help you in that process, set your environment up for success and make sure that it's not set up for failure. Okay, the last step in this 3-step habit stack, it's going to really help you. I know it is. And this last step is very, very important. So don't skip this. You need to set up a reward loop. Now, as you're building these habits, you need to have some kind of a reward attached to accomplishing these things, whether it's a week at a time. Let's say maybe you want to try to set up something that you want to just make it a continuous lifestyle. You want to make sure that through that process, you're rewarding yourself with something that is meaningful to you. It can't just be something random. It needs to be something that you find joy in, something that you find pleasurable. Now you need to decide what that is for yourself, but I don't want you to go through the process of trying to create these habits for yourself and then not set up or at least give yourself a little bit of a reward if you're able to complete the tasks on a timely basis. Now, let me also tell you that if you fall backwards, if you don't necessarily meet these tasks and these habits on a daily basis, don't beat yourself up. As I mentioned on the first one, don't beat yourself up if you have or you fall backwards. Just step into owning it. Once you become aware of it through your mindful practices, through your meditations, possibly through your journaling exercises, just don't beat yourself up over if you fall backwards and then keeping yourself from moving forward. But just make sure you set up for yourself some kind of a reward that you can have for yourself. That way you can feel good, continuing to move forward, continuing to understand that habits take time. A lot of times you're not going to get it done in 7 days, maybe even a month. It might take multiple months, but I promise you, if you can keep stacking these habits, and the good news is that once you stack one, you can find the process and you can stack multiple. That's been my experience, is as I've stacked these habits, my journaling habit has led to me then to do better with my health. I'm able to do things a lot easier. I understand that the outcome might take a little longer than what I think it might, but I know that the outcome will come if I stick to the habits that I'm trying to build for my life. So, once again, I just want to leave this idea with you as far as this 3-step process. This is what I've done for me. This is what Jim Rohn encouraged me to do many, many years ago. And that's what I definitely want to encourage you here today. So, in order to have more, you must first become more. And in order to become more, you must work harder on yourself than you do on your job. And my argument is that you need to work on stacking these habits, make them as positive as you possibly can. And if you do that on a consistent basis, throw away the bad habits, stack the good habits. Lo and behold, shorter time than you can ever imagine, you're going to be achieving faster, greater. Life is going to be abundant, and it's going to be so much fun. So go out there. Appreciate you being with me here today. If you wouldn't mind sharing this episode with your family and friends, I would greatly appreciate that. Help me spread the message of the Rich Mind podcast as far and as wide as possible. And I look forward to coming back with the next episode again very soon. Until then, folks, bye now.